Welcome back to Historical Sleep, the storyteller for your sleep partner that digs up the history beneath our feet. If you love stories about small towns with big secrets, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode and can follow Ilara's journey in real time. Drop us a comment below or reply to this episode on our story and let us know where you are right now. Seeing our audience map grow is one of the best parts of making this show. Your input keeps these stories alive. Chapter 1: The Harbor at Twilight. Let yourself settle in now. The day is done. Whatever tasks were on your list, whatever conversations were left unfinished, they no longer matter. They belong to the hours of the sun, and the sun has gone. Now there is only the quiet. There is only the comfort of where you are resting, supported, safe, and warm. Take a moment to close your eyes or simply soften your gaze, allowing the muscles in your face to slacken. Unclench your jaw. Let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Imagine a wave of relaxation, warm and heavy like a thick woolen blanket, rolling down from the top of your head, past your neck, down your spine, all the way to the tips of your toes. Breathe in deeply and breathe out slowly. Tonight we are going to take a journey back in time. We are going onto a ship that is waiting just for us. But there is no rush to board. There is no schedule to keep. The clock has stopped its ticking. We have all the time in the world to simply watch the world turn from day to night. Our story begins on the edge of a great historic city, in a time when the world moved a little slower. It is the late 19th century. The year is not important, but the feeling of the era is woven into the cobblestones beneath your feet. Imagine yourself standing at the top of a gentle hill, looking down toward the water. It is that magical hour of the evening, twilight. The locals call it the gloaming, that brief suspended moment between the clarity of the day and the mystery of the night. The sky above is a masterpiece of soft transitions. High up, directly overhead, the blue is deep and rich, the color of pressed indigo. But as your eyes travel down toward the horizon, that blue softens, turning into a pale lavender, then a dusty rose, and finally a ribbon of burning amber where the sun has just dipped below the edge of the world. The air here is cool and fresh. You can smell it, the distinct, clean scent of the ocean, mixed with the faint, comforting aroma of wood smoke drifting from the chimneys of the houses behind you. It is the smell of evening settling in. You begin to walk, slowly, down the winding cobblestone street toward the harbor. Your footsteps make a rhythmic, hollow, clicking sound on the stones, a steady metronome that calms your mind. Click, click, click. On either side of the street, the gas lamps are beginning to flicker to life. A lamplighter, a silhouetted long coat and tall hat, moves leisurely from post to post. He reaches up with his long pole, and with a soft pop and hiss, a warm yellow glow blooms inside the glass lantern. One by one, the street is bathed in this soft, golden light, creating pools of warmth against the encroaching shadows. As you walk further down the hill, the view of the harbor opens up before you. It is a magnificent sight. The harbor is a wide, protective embrace of land, curving around the calm water. And resting there, floating with the grace of sleeping swans, are the ships. There are dozens of them. Great merchant vessels with tall masts that seem to scrape the sky, fishing schooners with their nets drying on the decks, small rowboats daubing gently near the docks. In the fading light, the forest of masts looks like delicate lacework etched against the purple sky. The ropes and rigging form complex geometric patterns, lines connecting to lines, holding everything together in perfect tension. You reach the bottom of the hill and step onto the wooden boardwalk of the wharf. The sound of your footsteps changes now, from the hard click of stone to the dull, heavy thud of thick timber. The wood is weathered and gray, smoothed by years of salt spray and the passage of countless sailors. It feels solid beneath you, grounding you. The harbor at twilight is a place of winding down. The frenetic energy of the day has evaporated. The shouting of merchants, the clattering of wagons, the hustle of trade. It is all faded away. What is left is a peaceful, industrious quiet. You pause to lean against a sturdy wooden railing, looking out over the water. The surface of the harbor is like dark glass, oily and smooth, reflecting the dying light of the sky. The water is not still, but it is calm. It rises and falls in a slow, hypnotic rhythm, in and out, up and down. It matches the rhythm of your own breathing. You watch the reflection of a gas lamp dancing on the surface of the water. The gold light stretches out into a long, shimmering pillar that ripples and breaks, then reforms again. It is mesmerizing to watch. Nearby, a group of dock workers are finishing their day. They move with slow, deliberate purpose. There is no urgency in their movements. You watch as they secure a large crate, wrapping thick hemp ropes around it. The ropes are rough and fibrous, smelling of tar and history. You can hear the low murmur of their voices, though you cannot make out the words. It is just a soothing human sound, a reminder that the work is done and rest is coming. One of the men laughs, a low, rich sound that carries easily over the quiet water. He claps another man on the shoulder, and they turn to walk away, their heavy boots thudding softly as they head toward the warmth of their homes and their suppers. You are alone on the pier now, but you do not feel lonely. You feel a profound sense of solitude and peace. The air is getting cooler, a refreshing chill that makes you pull your coat tighter around yourself. The fabric is warm and heavy, a comforting weight on your shoulders. Your attention is drawn to the ship that waits at the end of the long pier. This is your vessel. It is a majestic three-masted bark, its hull painted a deep, glossy black that shines in the twilight. The name of the ship is painted in gold letters on the stern, but the light is too dim to read it clearly. It doesn't matter. You know this ship is safe. You know it is strong. You begin to walk toward it. As you pass the other ships docked along the way, you notice the details of this maritime world. You see a stack of wooden barrels, bound with iron hoops, smelling faintly of apples and spices. You see coils of rope, nicely wound into spirals on the deck, looking like sleeping snakes. You see the brass fittings on the ship's wheels, polished to a shine, catching the last stray beams of light. The sounds of the harbor are distinct and sparse. The cry of a single seagull, echoing as it flies home to its nest. The creaking of wood as the ships shift against the docks. A slow, rhythmic groan like an old rocking chair. Creak, hush, creak, hush. The sound of water slapping gently against the pilings of the pier. Slush, shh, slush, shh. These are the sounds of safety. They are the lullaby of the coast. You reach the gangway of your ship. It is a sturdy ramp of wood with rope handrails. You place your hand on the rope
It is coarse and cool to the touch. You ascend the ramp, walking upward, leaving the solid ground of the land behind.
As you step onto the deck of the ship, you feel a subtle shift. The ground beneath you is no longer static, it is alive. The ship is floating, buoyant, held up by the depth of the ocean. It sways ever so slightly, a motion so gentle it is almost imperceptible, like being rocked in a cradle. This gentle swaying immediately signals your body to relax even further. You find your balance effortlessly, your body sinking with the rhythm of the tide. The deck is immaculate. The teak planks have been scrubbed white with holystone and sand, smooth and clean. Above you, the masts tower like ancient trees, reaching for the first stars that are beginning to blink into existence. 1 star, then 2, then 3, puncturing the velvet canopy of the evening. You walk to the bow of the ship, the very front, and look out toward the open sea. The horizon is a blurred line now, where the dark gray of the ocean meets the dark blue of the sky. Somewhere out there is the open water, the journey to come. But for tonight, the ship remains tethered. Tonight, we are simply preparing. A sailor walks past you, nodding politely. He is carrying a lantern, and he moves to the bow to hang it on a hook. The light swings gently, casting long, dancing shadows across the deck. He checks a knot, gives it a tug to ensure it is secure, and then moves on. The crew is calm, professional, quiet. They know the rhythms of the sea. You find a comfortable bench built into the side of the cabin wall. It is sheltered from the wind, padded with thick leather cushions. You sit down, sinking into the seat. It is perfectly comfortable. You stretch your legs out in front of you, feeling the tension drain from your calves, your thighs, your hips. From this vantage point, you can look back at the city you have left behind. The transformation is almost complete. The twilight has deepened into true night. The buildings on the hill are now just silhouettes, jagged shapes against the sky. But the windows, oh, the windows are alive. Hundreds of tiny squares of yellow light have appeared, scattered across the hillside like fallen stars. Behind each of those windows is a life, a family, a story. People are sitting down to dinner, reading books by candlelight, tucking children into bed. You feel a sense of connection to them, a distant warmth. But you are happy to be here, in the quiet dark of the harbor, watching from a distance. The smells of the harbor have changed slightly as the temperature dropped. The scent of tar and brine is sharper, cleaner. A faint mist is beginning to rise off the water, curling around the hulls of the ships like wisps of white smoke. It softens everything it touches, blurring the hard edges of reality, making the world feel dreamlike and ethereal. You close your eyes for a moment, listening. Can you hear the bell buoys out in the channel? Far, far away, clang, clang. A lonely, mournful, but beautiful sound. It marks the way. It says, all is well. The path is marked. You are safe. You walk up to the rigging of the ship again. The sails are furled tightly against the yards, rolled up like sleeping bags. They are white canvas, waiting for the wind. But there is no wind tonight. The air is still. The flags hanging from the mastheads are limp, resting against the poles. Everything is resting. The seagulls have gone quiet. The dock workers have gone home. The city is settling down. And you too are settling down. You feel a heaviness in your eyelids, a pleasant, warm heaviness. The visual details of the harbor are starting to blur, not because of the mist, but because you are drifting. The swaying of the ship is so soothing, rocking you, soothing you. You think about the journey that lies ahead. In the morning, perhaps the lines will be cast off. In the morning, the sails will unfurl and catch the breeze. In the morning, the ship will cut through the waves toward new horizons. But that is for tomorrow. That is for the daylight. Right now, there is only the harbor. There is only the twilight turning to starlight. There is only the gentle creaking of the wood and the lapping of the water. You pull your coat tighter, feeling the warmth trapped against your body. You are safe here. The captain is in his quarters. The watchman is at his post. The ship is securely tied to the dock. Nothing is required of you. You are a passenger on this voyage of sleep. Let your gaze drift to the water one last time. It is black now, a mirror for the moon which is just beginning to peek over the horizon, a sliver of pearl white. It casts a thin, shimmering trail across the water, leading right to the side of your ship, a path of light. Your breathing is slow, deep, rhythmic, matches the tide, in and out, rise and fall. The sounds of the city are gone. The sounds of the ship are a whisper. The harbor holds you in its arms, protecting you from the open sea, keeping you in the calm waters of the bay. Rest here, in the harbor, at twilight, drifting, floating, sleeping. Good night. Chapter 2. Casting off the lines. You have rested deeply in the quiet cradle of the harbor. The world paused for you, holding its breath while you were safe within the shelter of the wooden ship. Now, without any alarm or suddenness, a faint shift in the atmosphere brings you gently back toward a waking awareness, but only to enjoy the softest moments of the early morning. It is still dark. The true sun has not yet shown its face, but the deep, velvet black of the night sky has begun to soften. It is no longer indigo, but a deep, muted charcoal, promising the eventual arrival of light. There is a sense of anticipation, but it is a calm, slow anticipation, the kind that moves at the speed of the turning earth. You are still seated on the comfortable bench sheltered by the cabin wall. The air is slightly colder now, the temperature change marking the slow crawl toward dawn. You can feel the moisture of the night dew settled on the wood and the ropes around you, a cool, clean dampness. Listen closely. The sounds of the harbor are different now. They are quieter, more focused. The bustling noise of the city, which was a distant murmur yesterday, has completely faded away. All the sounds you hear now belong to the ship, and they are the sounds of preparation. Slow, deliberate sounds of work being done by quiet, professional hands. You can hear the soft patter of bare feet on the wooden deck. It is a padding sound, measured and light, as a watchman finishes his shift or a sailor begins his. There is no urgency in these steps, only the necessary movement of people who respect the quiet of this early hour. Pad, pad, step, hush. Near the mainmast, you hear the muffled sound of a thick rope being untied from a cleat. It is a friction sound, a gentle squeak of the hemp fibers rubbing against the brass. The sailor handling the rope is not pulling hard. He is simply loosening its hold, checking its readiness. This is the first signal that the period of resting has ended and the period of moving is about to begin. Feel that slight, almost imperceptible shift beneath you. It is the vessel responding to the change in the tide. The water is trying to pull the ship away even before the crew has decided it is time. The ship is eager for the open water. This gentle, insistent movement is profoundly soothing, reminding your body that you are completely supported. You draw a slow, deep breath, pulling in the clean, cold air. The smell of tar, wood, and salt is sharper now, an invigorating scent that cleanses the mind. Focus only on this smell, letting it ground you in this historic moment on this strong, silent ship. As the light subtly increases, a delicate pale gray filtering from the east, you can see the shapes of the crew members moving across the deck. They are cloaked in the shadows of the rigging, moving like silent ghosts in long, dark coats. They speak in low tones, voices too soft to carry any distinct words, just a calming hum of communication. The first critical task of departure is about to take place, casting off the lines. You look toward the pier. The 3 thick mooring lines, the ropes that have held the ship secure through the night, are still stretched tautly to the weathered wooden dock. These lines represent your connection to the land, your security in the harbor. Soon, they will be released. Watch now, as a sailor, standing at the rail near the bow, reaches out with a steady hand. He wears thick leather gloves, and he runs his hand along the hemp of the line, feeling its tension one last time. He moves with respect for the immense power of the ocean, which these simple lines have held at bay all night. You hear the distinct sound of a massive, heavy iron chain cane being prepared. It is not being raised yet, but the chain is being unstacked in the chain locker below deck. The sound is muffled, a low clunk, clunk, clunk that seems to originate deep within the belly of the ship itself, like the heartbeat of the vessel itself. It is a slow, rhythmic percussion, a sound of weight and stability. Now, the captain steps onto the deck from his cabin. He is a tall silhouette, his posture straight and confident. He glances toward the eastern sky, then toward the shore. He gives a quiet command. It is too far away to understand, but the tone is low and authoritative. The crew responds instantly, without haste, but with precision. The moment has come. The sailor at the stern line leans over the rail. He holds a heavy, sharp knife, but he will not cut the line. He expertly slips the loop of the rope off the massive, heavy iron post or bollard on the dock. As the rope comes free, it makes a long, drawn-out zzz, zip sound as it rushes across the worn wood of the ship's railing. The rope is no longer taut. It falls limp into the water with a soft splash. One line released. The ship immediately swings a fraction of an inch, pivoting slightly in the pre-dawn darkness. You feel the subtle shift in your center of gravity, a hint of freedom. The same action is repeated at the midship line. The sailor there waits for a brief, perfect moment in the subtle current, pulls the rope inward, and releases the loop from the cleat on the pier. Zzz, as the rope is hauled back onto the deck, coiled neatly and methodically by a second sailor. Each coil is placed perfectly on top of the last, a smooth, spiral pattern of organization. This coiling sound is one of the most reassuring sounds on a ship. It signals readiness. Now only the final line at the bow holds you tethered to the land. The gangway is the next to go. 2 sailors move to the heavy wooden ramp that connects the ship to the wharf. They do not lift it suddenly. They wait for a moment of calm in the water, and then, with slow, synchronized effort, they lift the end of the gangway off the dock. There is a deep, scraping thunk as the wood separates from the pier. The ramp is then slowly pulled onto the deck, resting against the rail. The separation is complete. The bow line is the last connection. A different kind of stillness descends upon the ship. The only sound is the water lapping. The captain gives another clearer command, his voice easily audible now, though still soft. Cast off the bow. The final rope is released from the dock. There is no dramatic rushing noise this time, only the soft plop as the rope end drops into the black water, followed by the quiet, heavy breathing of the 2 men hauling the rope back onto the deck. And with that final action, the ship is untethered. It is free. There is no sudden lurch, no jerk. The separation from the land is entirely smooth.
the ship begins to drift, not pulled by engine power, but by the relentless, invisible hand of the tide and the subtle guidance of a small tugboat that has arrived to help turn the vessel toward the channel. The tugboat is small and powerful. You can hear its engine, a very low, constant thrumming, a vibration more than a noise. It is the sound of deep, reliable power. Hum, hum. This steady frequency is immediately calming, a monotone that occupies the auditory center of your mind, allowing the rest of your thoughts to slow down and dissolve.
Watch the pier now. It is drifting away from you. The gap between the ship and the dock widens slowly. You can still see the gas lamps on the pier, their golden light now distinct from the ship's own lanterns. They shrink, becoming smaller points of light, growing fainter as the distance increases. As you turn and look ahead, the ship is pointed directly toward the narrow channel that leads out to the open sea. The water here is deeper, darker, moving with more purpose. The lights of the city that were so prominent on the hill now begin to fade as the ship moves around the protective curve of the bay. You watch the last visible lights of the harbor disappear, the red and green beacons marking the entrance to the channel. Blink, blink. They are signaling that the world of the shore is behind you and the world of the ocean is ahead. The tugboat gives a final low toot of its horn, a sound that is friendly and far away. It then breaks off, its job complete, and heads back toward the city lights, leaving the bark to the silence of the sea. Now the only sound is the ship itself. It is the sound of wood moving through water. The ship is beginning to pick up speed, carried forward by its massive sails, which are now being unfurled, one by one. This is a quiet marvel to witness. Sailors move with the grace of acrobats along the yards, working in tandem. The great white canvas is loosened, and as the gentle offshore breeze catches it, the sail snaps taut with a soft flapping sound, followed by the deep, continuous pull of the wind catching the massive fabric. The ship leans slightly into the wind, not sharply, but with a smooth, continuous lean that is entirely natural. This sustained motion is the most deeply relaxing element of the entire journey. You are no longer rocking gently, but gliding steadily. Feel the movement. It is not a sudden jolt, but a long, slow surge. Surge, pause, surge, pause. This motion resonates with the deepest parts of your nervous system. It is the feeling of being carried. You do not have to walk or steer or plan. The ship knows the way. The wind knows the way. The sea knows the way. You are simply a passenger entrusted to the competence of the vessel and the certainty of nature. The sky is transitioning rapidly now. The charcoal gray is dissolving, replaced by the cool, pale silver of pre-dawn. The moon is high and bright, a pearl reflecting off the dark, churning ocean surface. You lift your head slightly and look up at the main mast. The unfurled sails stretch high above you, majestic and silent, catching the power of the early morning breeze. You can feel the wind on your face, cold and invigorating, carrying the pure, undiluted scent of the open ocean. There is nothing to think about now except the sensation of this glide. The rhythmic sound of the bow slicing through the water is the new heartbeat of your world. Foosh, shh, foosh, shh. Let that sound absorb any remaining stray thoughts in your mind. Every time you hear the water being displaced by the strength of the hull, allow yourself to sink a little deeper into the cushioned bench. The ship is fully in the channel now, surrounded only by water and the vast expanse of the morning sky. The lights of the city are entirely behind you. You have left the world of the dock, the cobblestone streets, and the gas lamps far, far away. All connection to the shore has been severed. You are afloat. You are underway. You are moving with purpose, but moving so gently that it feels like a dream. The air is getting lighter. Soon the edge of the sky will begin to turn yellow and pink, but for this moment you are suspended in the perfect quiet of the journey's beginning. The subtle rocking is a profound comfort. It is the ancient promise of the sea, movement without effort. Let the sounds of the journey become your guide into the deepest rest. The foosh of the bow, the creak of the hull, the soft flap of the sails high above. They are repetitive, they are dependable, they are safe. You are no longer in the harbor. The lines have been cast off. You are adrift in the most peaceful sense of the word, carried by the strength of the ship into the quiet depths of the ocean and the even quieter depths of sleep. Rest here. Let the ship carry you. The voyage has begun. Drifting, floating, sleeping.
Chapter 3. The Gentle Rhythm of the Waves. The ship is now fully committed to the voyage. The narrow channel has long faded into memory, and the land, with all its sharp corners and demanding schedules, is completely out of sight. You have surrendered to the boundless space of the open ocean. Allow yourself to settle even deeper into the sheltered comfort of your bench. The sun has risen, but its light is soft, diffused by a pale, high-altitude haze. A perfect, non-intrusive morning glow. There are no harsh shadows here, only a silver light that bathes the deck and the immense world around you. Look out now at the horizon. It is a perfect, unbroken circle. Nothing but the pale blue of the sky meeting the deeper blue of the water. The horizon line is not sharp, but a gentle, continuous melding of elements. The sheer emptiness of this view is profoundly restorative. There are no buildings, no roads, no demands on your vision. Just the vast, empty peace of the sea. In this vastness, you realize that the ship is the only solid, consistent thing in your immediate world. It is your home, your guardian, and your cradle. And the most important quality of your home right now is its rhythm. Focus entirely on the gentle, steady motion of the vessel. It is no longer the subtle, choppy movement of the harbor water. Now you are riding the long, rolling swells of the deep ocean. The movement is predictable, almost mathematical, like a perfect sine wave. The ship rises, slowly, slowly, reaching the crest of a swell. For a moment, you feel suspended, weightless, at the very top of the world. Then, with an equally unhurried and continuous grace, the ship sinks back down into the trough, protected by the tall, cool blue walls of the water. Rise, hold, fall, hold. This motion is your new metronome. It mimics the deep, slow rhythm that your body naturally seeks when it enters its most restorative state. Let your mind trace this path, up and down, side to side, until the movement of the ship and the beating of your own heart feel like a single, unified, peaceful process. Now turn your attention to the sound. The single most important sound on this voyage is the constant, reliable foosh of the water against the ship's hull. Imagine the side of the hull, that great black curved wall of wood. It is strong enough to carry you across the world. As the ship moves forward, the water is not violently broken, but rather smoothly displaced and then immediately reforms around the stern. Listen to the sound of the wave as it hits the bow. It is not a crash, but a low, hollow thump, instantly followed by a long, silky sigh as the water streams along the planking of the hull. Thump. Shh. This sound repeats over and over with absolute fidelity. It is the sound of nature in agreement with itself, the strength of the wood meeting the flow of the water. You can allow this sound to become your mental landscape. Every thump pushes away a conscious thought. Every shh washes away a lingering stress. The water sounds closest to you are distinct. Near the gunnels, where the water is lifted and dropped by the passing waves, you hear a gentle sloshing and gurgling. These are the tiny, incidental sounds of the liquid world, intimate and close. They remind you that you are surrounded by life, by immense, constant movement, yet you are sheltered and still. Sometimes a larger swell will come along, one with a little more purpose. It lifts the ship slightly higher, and when the ship settles, this wave pushes a curl of cool spray up and over the railing. You don't feel the spray, but you imagine the cleansing, fresh scent of that pure ocean water, the deepest concentration of salt and brine. This scent is an ancient aromatherapy, a reminder of the clean, wild edges of the earth. The sound of the ship itself is secondary, but equally calming. It is the deep creak of the timbers. These are not sounds of alarm, but sounds of strength. The wood is adjusting, stretching, and proving its endurance. It is the sound of a living structure, a trusted partner on the journey. Groan, settle, creak, hold. These sounds are too slow to be alarming. They are too rhythmic to be disturbing. They are merely the quiet conversation between the ship and the sea. Let the sensation of the ship's motion now take over. Close your eyes, if you haven't already, and feel how your entire body is being moved. Focus on your center, the place where you are resting on the bench. As the ship gently rises, you feel a lightening in your stomach, a slight release of pressure. As the ship gently descends, you feel a subtle increase in your weight, a warm press into the cushion beneath you. Lighten and press. Release and sink. This is a full-body massage delivered by the sea. Every muscle that may have been tense is now subject to the gentle, irresistible force of the water. You cannot hold tension in a body that is being rocked this perfectly. The muscles in your legs, your arms, your neck, they all soften, yielding to the ebb and flow of the water. Imagine this motion propagating throughout your internal system. Visualize the long, slow swells smoothing out the choppy waters of your mind. They take the busy, sharp edges of your thoughts and make them round, soft, and slippery so that they cannot hold on to your attention. They simply slide away. The wind is not a violent gust. It is a steady, gentle pressure against the massive sails high above. The tension in the rigging creates a high, soft humming sound, a note so pure it vibrates directly in your chest, a feeling of deep, vibrational calm. It is the sound of purpose, of being carried without effort. You are moving at a sustained, constant speed. There is no acceleration, no braking, no traffic, no stopping. This absolute constancy is a profound gift to the nervous system. The part of your mind that constantly looks for change or danger is given nothing to worry about. Everything is steady. Everything is predictable. Now allow a few visual details to drift into your awareness, only if they are entirely peaceful. Look down into the water near the hull. It is a deep, impossible blue, the color of liquid sapphire. It is so deep that the light cannot reach the bottom, creating a sense of ancient, undisturbed mystery. And on the surface, you notice patterns. The wind skims the top of the water, creating small, temporary ripples, sometimes called cat's paws, that flicker and disappear. Occasionally, a seabird drifts past the ship. It is a slow, elegant flyer, moving with the same effortless efficiency as the ship itself. It barely moves its wings. It simply uses the air currents, banking slightly, circling once, and then disappearing over the far horizon. Its presence is a quiet benediction, a sign that the world is in balance. If you look back towards the stern, you can see the trail the ship is leaving, the wake. It is a long, broadening line of white foam, a temporary signature on the water. It quickly dissolves, smoothed out by the next wave, proving that the past is always being erased and reformed by the present moment. Focus on this dissolution, the way the sea takes back all the energy and disturbance, making the water smooth and whole again.
You have now merged entirely with the rhythm of the waves. The slow upward surge of the ship is inhaling. The gentle downward drop of the ship is exhaling. Your breathing is one with the motion of the ocean. Feel the soft, cool air on your face. Hear the deep, repetitive sigh of the water against the hull. Feel the comforting weight of your body as it sinks deeper into the cushions, heavy and still. You are suspended between the two blues, the immense blue above and the infinite blue below. The journey is happening without your effort. You are simply carried. This state of being carried is the definition of rest. There is nowhere to go but forward, and nowhere to be but here. Every sound is a lullaby now. The creaking of the ship, the flapping of the distant sails, the gentle rhythm of the waves. All of these sounds are designed to hold you steady, to remind you that you are safe, enclosed, and moving toward a place of deep, profound peace. There is a sense of falling, but it is a soft, safe fall, continuous, like floating down on a feather, falling deeper into the cushion, falling deeper into the ship, falling deeper into the hypnotic rhythm of the waves. The light of the morning has now become a hazy, sleepy gray. The edges of the world are blurring. The lines between the water and the sky are softening. The only clear thing left is the sound of the wave as it hits the hull. Thump. Shh. Thump. Shh. Let this sound be the last sound you hear. Let it lull you, hold you, and carry you across the final border into the deepest, most restorative sleep. You are safe on this midnight voyage. Drifting, floating, carried, sleeping.
Chapter 4. Lanterns on the Deck. The day is winding down. The tireless sun, which held the high-altitude haze throughout the morning, has begun its graceful, slow descent toward the western horizon. Allow your awareness to follow this transition, watching the long, slow, final sweep of light across the deck. The pale silver light that illuminated Chapter 3 is changing. It is deepening, turning into a rich, soft gold. The teak planks beneath your feet, which looked clean and bleached in the morning, now take on a honey-colored warmth. The shadows, which were once small and tight, are now stretching and lengthening, turning into long, cool fingers of blue that reach across the deck. You are still perfectly settled on your cushioned bench, sheltered from the cool evening air. Feel the subtle shift in the temperature. The air is losing its warmth, becoming crisper, cleaner, carrying the pure, deep scent of the cold ocean water. This change in temperature is comforting. It signals the end of activity and the beginning of deep rest. Look at the surface of the water now. It is no longer a sparkling blue. It has become heavy, the color of gunmetal or deep indigo ink, reflecting the sky's transformation. The gentle rhythm of the waves continues, reliable and true. Rise and fall, sway and return. This constant motion remains your core anchor, but the visual world is preparing to disappear. The sun is just kissing the horizon, a brilliant final flash of orange and crimson that paints the low-lying clouds with impossible colors. This fiery display lasts only a few moments, a dramatic curtain call before the stage is handed over to the stars and the moon. As the last visible slice of the sun disappears, a profound quiet descends. It is the quiet of the immense world settling down for the night. With the disappearance of the sun, the ancient, comforting ritual of the ship begins, the lighting of the lanterns. This process is slow, deliberate, and entirely focused on safety and warmth. You hear the distinct metallic clink of brass against wood. A young sailor, moving with a steady, practiced gait, emerges from a cabin near the stern. He carries a small wooden box and a cloth. His task is to awaken the lights. He first attends to the ship's navigational lamps. These are the most important lights, the eyes of the vessel in the darkness. You watch as he carefully unlocks the heavy brass-cased lantern that will house the white stern light. The glass is thick, magnifying the flame. He opens the small door, places a tiny oil lamp within, and uses a long match to ignite the wick. The flame catches instantly, small and perfect. The light is not harsh. It is a soft, steady, butter yellow color. He adjusts the wick with a small brass lever until the flame is absolutely stable, casting a perfect, unwavering glow. This light is a beacon, a signal to the entire world that this ship is here, moving slowly, safely, and with purpose. Next, he moves to the bow to hang the running lights, the red light for the port, left side, and the green light for the starboard, right side. He takes infinite care with these, polishing the thick, colored glass with his cloth until it shines. The red light glows deep and rich, the color of ruby velvet, and the green light is cool and deep, like polished jade. These are the visible markers of your safety, protecting you from the darkness. As the vital navigational lights are secured, the rest of the crew begins to illuminate the deck itself. These are not warning lights. These are lights of comfort and companionship. Lanterns are brought out, simple, heavy glass boxes encased in wire frames, each housing a small dancing oil flame. The first is hung near the main companionway, bathing the entrance to the cabins in a warm, welcoming light. A second is placed near the binnacle, where the compass rests, ensuring the watchman can read the instruments. The effect of these lanterns is immediate and deeply soothing. They do not fight the darkness. They simply create small, luminous golden pools of warmth against the vast, enveloping blue-black of the night. Imagine yourself standing exactly in between two of these newly lit lanterns. The light is soft enough that it doesn't hurt your eyes, but warm enough that it feels like a soft electric blanket for your vision. The shadows they cast are long and soft-edged. You can see the texture of the thick, fibrous ropes piled neatly on the deck, now illuminated in perfect relief. The brass fittings on the wheel and the handrails gleam, catching the golden fire and reflecting it back in bright, comforting sparks. This is the beauty of the deck at night, the contrast. Outside the railing, the ocean is an immense, unknowable void. But within the railing, Within the golden circle of the lanterns, everything is order, safety, and warmth. You are enclosed in a luminous, moving bubble of security. Watch the flame inside one of the lanterns near you. The air on deck is mostly calm, but the ship's motion makes the lantern swing slowly. As the ship rises on a swell, the lantern swings inward slightly. As the ship falls into the trough, the lantern swings outward. The tiny flame dances in response, casting a long, wavering reflection on the polished deck. The reflection is a golden, liquid shape that moves back and forth, slowly, hypnotically. Sway left, sway right. Let your mind follow this reflection. It is a slow, steady oscillation, a visual metronome that helps your inner thoughts quiet down. Every pass of the light sweeps away a stray thought, leaving the space behind it calm and dark. The crew members who were moving silently in the pre-dawn are now moving silently in the night. The shift changes. The dog watch begins. You hear the quiet thud of a sailor's heavy boots as he walks toward his post near the helm. His silhouette, elongated by the lantern light, stretches and dances against the mast, a dark, friendly figure overseeing the deep sleep of the ship. He pauses near the binnacle, checks the compass, and then settles into his watch. The only sound he makes now is the quiet click of the wheel as he makes a tiny, precise correction to the steering, keeping the ship perfectly on course. Click. Wait. Click. Wait. It is the sound of vigilance, of someone else keeping watch so that you do not have to. The air is cold enough now that when the sailor speaks, you can see the faint cloud of his breath in the golden light of the lantern. But he speaks very little. The night watch is a time for silence, observation, and deep respect for the sea.
From the forward mast, you hear the quiet, dry squeak of a rope block being adjusted. A sound that is not jarring, but merely a single high-pitched note in the ship's gentle symphony. This symphony includes the constant low thrum of the hull moving through the water and the rhythmic creak of the timbers. Feel how completely safe you are in this moment. You are suspended on the water, surrounded by vast, cold darkness, yet protected by the strength of the wood, the warmth of the small golden lights, and the unwavering attention of the crew. Look up one last time at the sky. The darkness is immense, and scattered across it are diamonds of starlight, millions of them. They are cold, distant, and beautiful, but the light of the lantern near you is warm, close, and dependable. It is the difference between the vastness of the universe and the small, safe world you currently inhabit. Choose the warmth, choose the closeness, choose the dependable golden glow. You have now entered the deepest period of the night journey. The rhythmic waves continue their work, lifting and settling you with perfect repetition. The lantern light continues its slow, hypnotic swing back and forth across the polished wood. Let your focus soften, allowing the edges of the light to blur. The golden glow is merging with the internal warmth of your closing eyes. You are no longer watching the light. You are resting within the light. The sway of the lantern's reflection is pulling your consciousness gently away from the world. Sway, left, tension leaves. Sway, right, peace enters.
Your limbs feel incredibly heavy and warm. You are sinking deeper into the soft cushions, the weight of the ship and the cushions pressing all tension out of your body. You are heavy. You are calm. You are completely at rest. The gentle thump and shh of the water against the hull is becoming more muffled, sounding as if it is coming from a great distance, though it is right beside you. Your mind is building a soft, soundproof wall around you, constructed of golden light and rhythmic waves. You are safe. You are held. The lanterns are lit. The course is set. All is well. Drift now. Follow the golden reflection as it sways into the deepest part of your sleep. The quiet of the ship carries you. The light of the lantern warms you. You are sleeping deeply, peacefully. Good night.
Chapter 5. Echoes of the Old World. The golden glow of the deck lanterns has done its work, ushering you past the surface of the world and deep into the heart of the night. Now we leave the wind and the stars to the night watch and retreat into the enclosed, warm comfort of the ship's interior. Imagine the simple, measured movement of your body as you rise slowly from the bench and walk toward the main companionway, the set of stairs leading below deck. The deck planks are smooth beneath your feet. You place your hand on the dark, polished mahogany rail of the stairway. It is cool and smooth to the touch, familiar and solid. You descend slowly, one wooden step after another. Each step makes a dull, heavy sound, muffled by the sheer density of the ship. With every downward step, the noise of the ocean above diminishes, replaced by a deep, hollow quiet. The gentle scent of salt and tar is replaced by the warm, enclosed aroma of the ship's inner life. Old, seasoned wood, the faint, metallic tang of brass, and the dry, pleasant smell of aged paper and leather. You find yourself in a small, quiet space, a common room or sitting area, designed for reading and reflection. Here, the light is dim and entirely focused. A single, small lamp, bolted securely to a table, casts a warm, consistent glow. This lamp is shielded by a dark green glass hood, directing the golden light downward, creating an intimate, perfect circle of illumination against the dark, carved wood of the table. In this room, you are surrounded by the deep, reassuring presence of history. Every object here tells a story not of months, but of years, perhaps decades. The walls are not painted, they are paneled with heavy, dark wood, rich, deep-grained mahogany or oak that has been polished by countless hands over generations of voyages. The wood gleams softly in the lamplight, reflecting the light in 1,000 tiny shifting patterns. This wood feels profoundly stable. It was once a tree in a massive, ancient forest, standing tall and slow for hundreds of years. Now, it is the structure that holds you safe. When you place your hand on the wall, you are touching the quiet memory of the forest, the enduring strength of the earth itself, all encapsulated within this floating vessel. This feeling of enduring quality is deeply comforting, the knowledge that the things around you have lasted. Settle into one of the velvet upholstered chairs. The cushion is soft and deep, molding itself perfectly to your shape. You are perfectly still, but the room is moving, rocked by the sea. Feel the motion here. It is amplified. As the ship rides a swell, the movement is a long, deliberate glide, a side-to-side swing that is profound in its slowness. Sway, pause, sway, pause.
This is the ship breathing, and your body, your internal organs, your very consciousness is swaying in time with it. Let this gentle, continuous swing pull the tension out of your spine, loosen the muscles in your lower back, and soften the grip you hold on the waking world. On the table beneath the lamp, there are objects that whisper of the past. There is a stack of navigational charts, rolled and tied with clean white ribbon. The paper is thick, creamy, and dry, smelling faintly of parchment. Unrolled, these charts would show coastlines that look different today, marked with the careful, elegant copperplate handwriting of a navigator from a bygone era. They represent mastery and knowledge, the comforting certainty that someone, long ago, knew exactly where this ship was going. Next to the charts, there is a large, leather-bound book. This is the ship's logbook. The leather is dark, deeply cracked and soft with age, smelling faintly of pipe tobacco and the distant land it last touched. You do not need to open it. Just the sight of its substantial weight is reassuring. Inside, every day of the voyage is accounted for, every entry written with an immaculate quill pen. It is a record of time carefully measured, of journeys successfully completed. This book is a silent promise. What has been recorded has ended safely. Imagine the hands that turn these pages, the captains, steady and firm, the first mates, hurried but precise. Their presence is still here, a faint echo of their vigilance, assuring you that the journey is known, the path is safe, and the ship is in capable, historical hands. In this deep, quiet room, the normal rush of minutes and seconds loses all meaning. Time here is measured not by the ticking of a clock, but by the slow, ceremonial sound of the ship's bell. Listen closely. Distant, muffled, and coming from the deck above, you hear the deliberate clang of the ship's bell. It is tolling the time. The bells do not measure arbitrary hours. They mark the watches, the fixed, slow passages of the night. Clang, clang, 2 bells. Clang, 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 3 bells. Each double chime represents half an hour successfully passed. The sound is low and resonant, traveling easily through the heavy timbers, yet somehow gentle and non-jarring. The sound fades slowly, allowing the silence to rush back in and fill the space where the sound once was. The purpose of the bell is not to hurry you, but to confirm that time is moving slowly, predictably, and with accountability. It is a sonic ritual that has been performed on the ocean for centuries. Let the sound wash over you, a reminder that you are participating in an ancient, enduring tradition of travel and rest. The air in this room is completely still. It holds the warmth generated by the lamp and the ship's steady motion. This is the warmth of enclosed safety, distinct from the cold wildness outside. You notice the simple geometric design of the room, the dark wood paneling, the brass fixtures, the steady light. Everything is built to be secure against the constant motion of the sea. There are no sharp edges, only smooth, rounded surfaces. Everything is minimized, practical, and beautiful in its simplicity. Focus on the stillness of your own body, juxtaposed against the movement of the ship. Your head is perfectly still, your gaze steady. Yet the chair beneath you, the table beside you, the walls around you, they are all participating in the slow, graceful dance of the ocean. Feel the weight of your eyelids now. They are heavy and soft. The light beneath the green hood is fading into a comfortable blur.
All the sharp details of the room are softening, becoming vague, merging with the shadows. You are no longer focused on reading history, you are becoming part of it. The echoes of the old world are wrapping around you now. The scent of the wood, the memory of the charts, the sound of the bell, all forming a dense, warm cocoon of safety. You are suspended in time, disconnected from the present, cradled by the past. Let the gentle sway of the ship be the final, most persuasive element of your rest. It is a motion that your body recognizes from the deepest part of its memory, a rocking that existed before thought, before language. As the ship glides upward on the swell, feel your breath expand easily. As the ship sinks into the trough, feel your body compress, sinking deeper into the soft velvet. There is nothing left to do. The journey is continuing without your effort. The watch is set, the logs are kept, and the bell is tolling the hours of deep sleep. You are resting not only on a ship, but in a small, warm piece of the 19th century, surrounded by the quiet echoes of a time when life moved at the pace of the wind and the tide. This historical sanctuary is holding you perfectly still. Drift now. Let the motion take you deeper. Let the wood keep you warm. Let the bell measure your long, unbroken sleep. You are safe. You are resting. You are sleeping. Good night.
Chapter 6. Beneath a Canopy of Stars. We rise now from the enclosed, historical warmth of the lower cabin and return, quietly, to the open air of the deck. The feeling of the heavy wood beneath you shifts once more from the resonant quiet of the interior to the soft, cool air of the night. Imagine ascending the steps slowly, your hand resting lightly on the polished mahogany rail. With every step upward, the subtle sounds of the ship's hull moving through the water grow clearer. The deep, rhythmic thrum of the voyage replaces the heavy silence of the cabin. You reach the top of the companionway and step out onto the open deck. The air is cold now, sharp, and intensely clean, a bracing, pure scent of brine and wind. The lanterns, which were so prominent before, now seem small and humble, casting their golden pools of warmth low on the deck. They serve only as quiet anchors, affirming your small, safe space within the immensity. The ship is gliding effortlessly. It is a sustained, smooth motion, a long, continuous slide over the backs of the rolling velvet waves. The gentle sway is profound, guiding your body into a state of balance where no muscle needs to strain to keep you upright. You are perfectly supported. Now, lift your gaze, tilt your head back slightly, and look up into the sky. This is the great, undeniable majesty of the open sea at night, far from the light pollution of any shore. Above you, the sky is not merely dark, it is a profound, limitless black, like a well of pure velvet that stretches infinitely in all directions. And scattered across this velvet canvas are stars, more stars than you have ever seen before. They are not distant, faint pinpricks. They are sharp, bright, and intensely focused, seemingly close enough to touch. They cover the sky from horizon to horizon, a glittering, diamond dust canopy that hangs just above the masts. Let your eyes wander slowly across this celestial field. Notice the different colors. Some stars are brilliant cold white. Others possess a fiery orange or a deep, patient yellow. They twinkle with a faint, playful shimmer, a distant, silent energy that is millions of years old. The most prominent feature is the Milky Way, the great luminous river of starlight that arcs across the zenith of the sky.
It is not just scattered stars, but a dense, hazy cloud of pure light, a smoke trail left by countless suns. This sight is one of the most powerful visual aids for letting go of personal worries. Look at the scale. Look at the immense ancient time and distance represented by this light. Your momentary anxieties are tiny, insignificant motes against the backdrop of this vastness. Find a comfortable position at the rail. Place your hands lightly on the smooth, cool wood. Feel the quiet pressure of your palms against the wood. You are still, but the world is turning. As you look up, notice how the constellations seem to move slowly, deliberately above the ship. The great ship below you is moving steadily across the ocean, but the entire planet is moving too, turning on its axis, bringing different patches of the universe into view. This is the rhythm of the cosmic clock, slow, inevitable, and entirely beyond your control. There is no need to identify the stars or the constellations. Their names and their stories belong to the day. Tonight, there's simply light. There's simply stillness. Imagine a beam of light, millions of years old, traveling across the void just to reach your eyes right now. This light has endured everything. It has passed suns, planets, dust clouds, and black holes. And now, it is here, a soft, final energy landing on your retina. Let this feeling of enduring, powerful peace settle over you. The immensity of the space above you creates a sense of profound humility and release. The vastness of the universe reminds you that your conscious mind and its worries are extremely small. You are just a passenger on a small ship, on a small planet, being carried through the dark. And you are perfectly safe. Below the canopy of stars, the ship is a small, quiet sanctuary. You can now clearly hear the sounds of the night watch. They're softer than ever. The watchman's steps are barely audible, a padding sound, slow and infrequent, as he walks his solitary rounds. He is a silent guardian, a dark shape moving through the golden pools of lantern light on the deck. The only sustained sound is the ship's deep, rhythmic harmony with the sea. The water hits the hull. Froosh! Shh! The ship rides the swell. Rise and fall. Let the rhythmic foosh of the water anchor your mind, while the vast silent field of stars pulls your consciousness upward, away from your body. You are floating between two perfect rhythms, the relentless rhythm of the sea and the eternal, silent rhythm of the stars. Breathe in deeply, drawing the cold, clean energy of the night into your lungs. Hold it for a moment, absorbing the stillness. Then breathe out slowly, releasing any remaining tension into the deep ocean air. Imagine one single bright star directly above the masthead. As the ship gently sways from side to side, that star seems to follow the masthead, moving only slightly, consistently, and without haste. It is a cosmic pendulum, swinging slowly, marking the passage of the night. Sway left, star moves. Sway right, star returns. This movement is so slow, so dependable, that it becomes a visual lullaby. Let your eyes soften and blur until the thousands of sharp, distinct stars melt together into a soft, hazy blanket of light. The cold, distant light of the stars is a contrast to the warm, immediate light of the lanterns. You have both in your world, the safety of the enclosed and the freedom of the immense. Your body is heavy now, weighted down with comfort. Your head is tilted slightly back, your neck relaxed. Every muscle in your face, around your eyes, and in your jaw is completely slack. The concerns of the past day are drifting away, becoming as distant and insignificant as the lights of the shore you left behind. They're lost in the immense silence
between the stars. You are being rocked by the waves, protected by the hull, and covered by the most magnificent silent canopy the world can offer. There is only the silence of the night and the promise of the rhythm. Let the light of the stars pull your mind up and away, dissolving your awareness into the vast, quiet depths of space. You are falling softly, beautifully, into the deepest rest. Drifting, floating, sleeping, beneath the stars. Good night.
Chapter 7. The Captain's Logbook. You have gazed upon the immense, silent canopy of stars, and now your mind is cleared, your worries are minuscule, and your body is cool with the refreshing purity of the open night air. It is time to retreat from the cold, expansive beauty of the deck and seek the specific, enclosed warmth of the ship's inner sanctuary. Imagine turning away from the railing and the deep black water. The movement is slow, easy, and deliberate. You walk across the deck, your steps hushed and soft on the smooth planks, moving toward the shielded, secure heart of the vessel, the captain's private domain. You step through a heavy, brass-rimmed doorway, and the transition is immediate and profound. The air instantly warms you, wrapping around you like a thick woolen shawl. The sharp, cold scent of brine is replaced by a complex, satisfying aroma. The dry heat of a small cold stove, the subtle, rich smell of burning lamp oil, and the deep, reassuring scent of aged paper and leather. You are now in a tiny, perfectly ordered room, perhaps the chart room or the captain's study, a space of deep concentration and perfect security. Here, the movement of the ship is muffled, felt more as a slow, predictable rocking than a side-to-side sway. It is a soft, cushioned motion. The focal point of this room and the anchor for this stage of your rest is the writing desk. It is a sturdy piece of dark, heavy wood bolted firmly to the floor to resist the sea's constant movement. On this desk rests a single, indispensable object, the logbook. It is a large, imposing volume, bound in deep, thick leather, the color of old cocoa or dark cherry wood. The covers are heavy, weighted by the history contained within, protecting every page. The leather is cool and smooth to the touch, and when you gently lay your hand on it, you feel the deep, comforting stability of a ritual that has endured for centuries. This logbook is the heart of the ship's accountability. It is the vessel's permanent record of its existence. It contains not dramatic tales, but the simple, unalterable facts, the latitude and longitude, the barometric pressure, the force and direction of the wind, and the state of the sea. It is a testament to order and predictability. In this moment, focus on the sheer weight of the book. It is heavy, substantial, a grounding presence in a world of constant motion. This weight represents the full commitment of the ship to its journey, its duty to be precise, and its assurance of safety. Allow that feeling of reliable, documented security to transfer to your own rest. You are cared for by precision, not chance. Imagine the captain now, seated at the desk. He is a picture of calm competence. He wears spectacles that catch the soft lamplight, and his expression is one of deep, quiet focus. He is not stressed. He is merely performing the most important, predictable task of his day. The lamp that lights his work is small and perfectly positioned. It has a green glass hood, focusing a tight, bright circle of warm amber light directly onto the open pages of the logbook. Outside that circle, the room falls into warm shadow, creating an intimate, protective space. The light only illuminates what is necessary: the date, the compass reading, and the space for the entry. Listen to the sounds of this ritual. First, there is the soft, dry rustle of the paper as he turns to a clean page. The paper is thick, creamy, and expensive, designed to last through generations, resistant to the damp air of the sea. Then you hear the delicate, scratchy sk, sk sound of the quill pen dipping into the small ceramic inkwell. The ink smells faintly of iron and deep earth. Finally, the sound of the entry being made, the quill pen moving across the thick paper. It is a precise, repetitive, scratching sound. Sh, sh, sh. A moment of silence. Sh, sh, sh. The captain is writing down the simple, unchangeable truth of the hour. Midnight. All well. Wind force 3. Steady from the northwest. Course 285 degrees west. Each scratch of the pen is a confirmation that the ship is still safe, still on course, and still accountable to the vast tradition of seafaring. These are not dramatic words. They are the most comforting words in the language of the sea. All well. Let the steady, rhythmic scratching of the pen on the paper become a new internal beat for your rest. The repetition is profoundly soothing, signaling that a reliable authority is maintaining order while you sleep. You are free of all responsibility, shielded by the captain's vigilance and the ritual of the logbook. Close your eyes and lean back into the deep comfort of your chair. The wood of the chair is warm, worn smooth by the friction of 1,000 past watches. Think about the longevity of the logbook. This specific volume will be passed down, stored in archives, and protected from fire and water. It is a small, quiet piece of history, preserving the reality of this single night, this specific moment of peace. This feeling of permanency is a deep balm to the fleeting nature of modern life. Everything here is built to last. The heavy wood, the iron bolts, the leather binding, the ink that dries permanently on the page. You are nestled within stability. The motion of the ship is gentler here, further below the waterline. It is a long, deliberate, easy roll. As the ship rolls, the small flame in the lamp stays steady, protected by its housing. The small circle of light on the logbook remains fixed, a perfect golden circle of focus and peace. Your body is sinking into the deepest part of the seat. You feel the heavy, warm weight of your own limbs. Your feet are relaxed. Your calves are soft. The slow, rocking motion is dissolving the last vestiges of tension from your hips and shoulders. The air is warm and still. The smells are rich and ancient. Wood, ink, and leather. These are the deep, ancestral sense of safety, knowledge, and home. Imagine the blank page of the logbook now, waiting for the final entry. That empty space represents the future, a future that is already determined to be safe and predictable because the ship is on course. The vastness of the future is being tamed and measured one tiny entry at a time. You are moving beyond the need for light, beyond the need for sound, beyond any conscious thought. You are simply resting in the profound security of knowing that your journey is documented, your safety is confirmed, and the routine is unbroken. The rhythmic scratching of the pen fades into a soft, distant hum. The logbook is now closed, The day's record complete, the duty done. The ship is gliding on, steady and true. Let the warm weight of the leather, the certainty of the ink, and the comfort of the routine guide you now into the deepest, most secure sleep. You are accounted for. You are safe. You are at rest. Sinking deeper, drifting peacefully, sleeping. Good night.
Chapter 8. The Silence of the Open Sea. You have completed your time in the secure heart of the ship, satisfied by the order and permanence found in the captain's logbook. Now, with your mind settled by ritual and your body warmed by the enclosed room, you were drawn back to the most profound peace of the ocean itself. Imagine stepping quietly out of the warm compartment and back onto the outer deck. The transition is gentle. The sharp, cold air of the deepest night embraces you, a clean, cool envelope that awakens your senses just enough to enjoy the deep quiet. The hour is late, the time when the world truly holds its breath. The first watch is over, the work is done, and the ship is in its most passive state, gliding solely on the momentum of the wind and tide. The ship is moving through the water with effortless continuity. Settle yourself into a new comfortable spot, perhaps a sheltered area near the stern rail where the ship leaves its silent wake. You are completely still. The silence of the open sea is not the absence of sound. It is the absence of complication. It is a silence composed only of rhythms and natural processes. First, notice the total lack of human noise. There are no distant sirens, no rumbling carts, no voices raised in urgency. The world of human demands has been completely eliminated. All that remains is the simple, honest conversation between the water, the wind, and the wood. Listen intently to the micro sounds that make up this great silence. You hear the constant, low hiss of the water sliding past the ship's rudder. It is a friction sound, a soft, dry whisper as the heavy metal guides the wood. Hiss. Shh. Hiss. Shh. This sound is closest to your ears, intimate and steady. Further forward, the rhythmic whoosh, whoosh of the bow is now muted, sounding heavy and round like a heartbeat heard through a thick wall. It is no longer a sharp slice, but a deliberate, slow push. And then the sound of the rigging, high above your head. The wind, which feels light on your face, is catching the top sails. It produces a soft, continuous high-pitched whistle or hum, a sustained, pure tone that seems to come directly from the air itself. It is a sound of effortless energy, a lullaby woven from the wind. Let these sounds merge, the intimate hiss of the rudder, the distant thump of the bow, and the high, constant hum of the air. They form a perfect, continuous, non-intrusive soundscape designed entirely for peace. The air itself is a source of profound calm. It is cold, but not harsh, carrying a deep, fresh purity that cleanses the inside of your mind. Draw a slow, deep breath, pulling the essence of the ocean into your core. This air has traveled hundreds of miles across the water, touching nothing but the deep sea. It is clean, untainted, and deeply refreshing. Exhale slowly, letting the cold air drown any lingering warmth of worry or thought. The darkness is absolute, stretching infinitely outward. The lantern lights, now very far away near the main cabin, are tiny, distant stars of human warmth. You are surrounded by the deep, restful void. Look out over the rail again. The water is a dark, heavy liquid, moving with a profound sense of purpose. It does not crash or churn, it merely rolls. The ship climbs the invisible slope of a wave, hangs suspended for a slow, perfect second, and then slides down the other side. Upward glide, hold, downward slide, hold.
This motion is the most compelling element of the silence. It requires your entire body to surrender. You cannot fight this gentle, constant movement. And the moment you stop trying to resist, you fall into the deepest physical rest. Your shoulders soften, your jaw relaxes, the weight of your head feels heavy and comfortable. Tonight, the sky is not sharply defined by stars, but rather softened by a high, thin haze, a gentle veil pulled across the dome of the heavens. This hazy condition diffuses the light of the moon, which is high and far away. The moon itself is only a vague luminous presence, a soft silver smudge behind the mist. It does not cast sharp shadows. Instead, it creates a subtle, all-encompassing silver light. This silver light washes over the deck, making the wood look soft, pale gray, and ghostly. It bleeds out over the water, blurring the horizon so that the line between the sea and the sky disappears entirely. You are floating in a seamless bowl of silver gray light and deep blackness. This blurring of the edges is intensely calming. When the visual world is soft and vague, your mind does not have to work to define it. All sharpness has been polished away. There are no hard corners, no clear boundaries, just the vast, peaceful blend of air and water. Imagine the ship itself being softened by this silver light. It is no longer a harsh structure of masts and ropes, but a quiet, moving silhouette, a phantom vessel carried by the breath of the sea. You have now entered the period of deepest security. The silence is complete. The ship is moving at its most efficient, most peaceful pace. You are surrounded by nothing but the clean, cold air and the rhythmic, non-threatening sounds of the deep ocean. The movement is a perfect cradle, rocking you slowly, consistently. The sounds are a steady hum, confirming continuity and safety. The light is soft and vague, erasing the need for thought or observation. This is the silence of acceptance. The silence that comes when you realize there is nothing left to control. You are floating on a world that has been moving like this for billions of years, and your safety is ensured by the unwavering physics of wood, wind, and water. Settle your consciousness entirely into the sounds of the deep, dark night. The hiss of the rudder, the high hum of the ropes. They are the final, quiet guardians of your sleep. Sink deeper into the peaceful weight of your body. Let the cool air refresh your skin. Let the slow rocking lull your mind to total, absolute stillness. You are moving, but you are at rest. You are surrounded by silence, yet completely comforted by sound. Drifting now, carried by the deep, silent rhythm of the open sea. Sleeping, deeply, peacefully. Good night.
Chapter 9. Whispers of the Wind. You are emerging from the deepest period of the night, having been cradled by the silence of the open sea. The stars may still be faintly visible, but the primary sensation now is that of the air itself, the vast invisible current that has powered your entire journey. Imagine shifting your weight slightly, drawing yourself to a sitting position at the foot of one of the massive masts. This position places you directly within the domain of the wind. Above you, the main mast soars, a pillar of strength holding the immense sails that capture the energy of the air. The cold, clear air is not harsh. It is a gentle, steady force. It moves past you consistently, never changing its direction, never increasing in speed, but simply holding the ship in a perfect, continuous glide. You can feel the wind softly caressing the exposed skin of your face and hands, cool and clean. Listen now to the sound the wind makes as it interacts with the ship. It is not the roar of a storm, but a quiet, complex chorus of pure tones, the true whispers of the wind. The ship is a massive musical instrument, and the wind is the player. The first, highest note you hear is the sound of the wind moving across the top of the sails. Because the sails are taut and curved, the air splits into two streams, and where they rejoin, they create a sustained, delicate shiver of sound. It is a high-pitched, almost crystalline hum, so soft that if you weren't actively listening for it, you might miss it entirely. It sounds like the distant, continuous singing of a tiny, perfect violin string. Next, focus on the ropes, the hundreds of lines, large and small, that secure the sails and the yards. As the wind moves past these vertical lines, they vibrate. This vibration creates a multitude of simultaneous soft whistling sounds, a perfect, non-repeating pattern of gentle tones. Listen to the thick main shrouds, the heavy braided ropes that support the mast. They hum with a deeper, lower frequency, a constant, resonant vibration that you can almost feel in the wooden deck beneath you. This is the sound of deep structural strength, confirming that every part of the ship is working in perfect, silent harmony. The thinner ropes, the running rigging, produce a slightly higher, more delicate whistle. It is a sound that dances and flits, impossible to pin down, yet utterly calming. Let these sounds become a single, fluid soundscape, the deep, steady hum and the high, delicate whistle. This is pure auditory therapy, a continuous, smooth flow of sound that occupies your mind just enough to prevent conscious thought from taking root. In this spot, high and forward on the ship, you get the closest sensation to flight. The deck pitches and rolls less violently than the stern. Here it is all forward motion, a smooth slicing through the air. Close your eyes and feel the wind's pressure against your clothes, your hair, your skin. It is not pushing you. It is enveloping you, moving you as part of the ship's entire mass. The sensation is one of being constantly, gently drawn forward. Imagine the ship has no weight, and the wind is merely guiding a feather. You are that feather, carried effortlessly toward an unseen horizon. This effortless movement releases the deep, habitual tension we hold in our bodies. Every part of your muscle memory associated with walking, standing, or striving is being overridden by the experience of passive momentum. You don't need to push. You only need to relax and be carried. Draw another slow breath, focusing only on the temperature and velocity of the air entering your lungs. Feel the coolness on the inhale and the gentle warmth on the exhale. The wind is recycling your energy, taking away the stale air of your fatigue and replacing it with the clean, deep freshness of the ocean night. The wind is the carrier of all stories, yet it speaks in the universal language of sound. Imagine the long, slow, historical journey of this air. It is moved across continents, over vast ice fields, and through dense, dark forests before finally reaching this ship. Each whisper you hear might contain an echo of those distant places, but they are filtered now, smoothed and purified by the sea. The wind has dropped all its noise and confusion. It is only carrying its pure energy. Allow your mind to focus on a single, continuous, high-pitched whistle in the rigging. Follow that note. It is so steady, so focused, that it becomes the sole object of your attention. Everything else, your memories, your plans, your small daily thoughts, is slowly receding behind that single persistent tone. This is the ultimate form of detachment. You are listening to the fundamental voice of the world, and it is telling you only one thing. Keep going. Stay steady. Rest. The physical movement of the ship in response to the wind is profoundly reassuring. As the wind gently presses against the sails, the ship leans slightly, a long, patient tilt. It never tilts too far. The heavy keel of the ship is always pulling it back, keeping it centered. Tilt, return. Tilt, return. This is the ultimate balance. The external force, the wind, acts upon the internal strength, the keel. And you, positioned safely between these two forces, enjoy the smooth, continuous ride. Your senses have now absorbed the deep peace of the wind. Your body is heavy, surrendered to the movement. Your mind is quiet, focused only on the continuous, non-threatening sounds of the air. The gentle pressure of the wind on your face feels like a soft hand urging you into deeper rest. Let the rhythmic, humming sounds of the rigging replace your thoughts. Every time a stray idea tries to enter your mind, imagine it is caught by the pure sound of the whistle and carried away over the side of the ship into the silent water below. You are resting in the core of the ship's energy, wrapped in the endless flow of the wind. This is the energy that moves the world, and it is holding you perfectly still. The vastness of the space above and the immense movement of the sea are now unified by the steady, invisible presence of the air. You are floating through a world of soft motion and continuous sound. Drift deeper now, enveloped by the deep, resonant hum of the shrouds and the high, clear whistle of the running lines. The wind is your guardian. The rhythm is your path. You are sleeping, deeply, carried forward. Good night.
Chapter 10. The Moon's Silver Path. We have traveled through the rhythms of the waves, the enclosed warmth of the lanterns, the secure silence of the logbook, and the ethereal whispers of the wind. Now, in the last, deepest hour before the first hint of dawn, we settle in to the most beautiful sight the open sea can offer, the perfect, singular light of the moon. Imagine that you have found the absolute best place on the entire ship to rest, a spot at the stern facing backward where the ship leaves its silent, smooth trail on the water. The deck is cool and quiet. The gentle rocking is so familiar now that it is no longer noticeable. It is simply the deep, constant heartbeat of your environment. The wind has dropped slightly, and the sounds of the rigging are softer still, a distant, melodic sigh. The ship is gliding in its most efficient, peaceful state. Look up. The sky is immense and clear, a deep midnight blue, entirely free of haze. High above, suspended in the blackest part of the night, is the moon. It is full, bright, and impossibly clear, a silver coin set against dark velvet. The moon is the single, undisputed source of light in this world now. Now, lower your gaze to the water. The moon, due to its height and clarity, is casting a direct, brilliant reflection on the surface of the ocean. This reflection is not a scattered glow or a wide, hazy patch. It is a sharp, distinct path of silver light stretching across the water, reaching from the distant horizon straight towards the ship. It is a perfect, unbroken line of liquid light, the color of pure, polished mercury. This is the moon's silver path. Focus entirely on the visual quality of this path. It shimmers, it dances, and it vibrates, yet it remains perfectly stable. The light is not static. It is a million tiny, individual fragments of silver fire, constantly flickering as the surface of the water moves. Each wave catches the light and releases it in a brief, brilliant flash, creating a hypnotic visual rhythm. Flicker, shimmer, pulse, flow. Let this visual rhythm occupy the front of your mind. It is a pattern so complex that your brain cannot interpret it as words or thoughts, yet so consistent that it is supremely restful. The conscious effort to analyze the flickering light dissolves, leaving only pure, effortless sensation. As the ship moves and gently rocks, the silver path remains fixed, always stretching directly towards the stern. The effect is profound. It feels as though the ship is not moving forward, but rather that the path of light is slowly, gracefully walking towards you. Imagine the ship is resting, and the light is coming to embrace it. With every slight upward roll of the ship, the light seems to lift, catching a brief, bright spark on the crest of the waves closest to you. With every gentle downward roll, the path dips and softens. This constant, gentle shifting of the light right up to the rail of the ship creates a feeling of being invited, welcomed, and guided. This light is safe. It is pure. It is ancient. It is the perfect, unwavering sign that you are traveling exactly where you need to be. The silver path represents absolute focus. In the immensity of the sea and the dark of the night, your eye is given one single perfect line to follow. All complexity is reduced to this one visual truth. The path is clear. Let your internal vision clear, adopting the same focus. Release all thoughts that pull your attention wide, and instead, narrow your consciousness until it is focused only on this singular, brilliant, beautiful line of light. Imagine the qualities of the light transferring directly to your state of rest. The light is cool. Feel the cool, cleansing temperature of the silver wash away the residual heat of the day's effort from your body. Your forehead cools. Your eyes feel rested and chilled. The light is silent. The path makes no sound, yet it is the most active element in your vision. It is pure energy without noise. Let your mind become as silent as the light itself, active in its rest, but free of all chatter. The light is guiding. This path leads you to only one place, only deeper rest. It is a clear, directional energy that pulls you gently into the surrender of sleep. Now focus on your feet and legs. They feel heavy and inert, completely settled. Imagine that the silver light is touching the soles of your feet, and its cooling, silent energy is flowing upwards through your body. The light washes through your calves, dissolving any stiffness. It flows up your spine, straightening and softening your posture. It fills your chest and shoulders, removing all the small, accumulated weights you carry. You are being cleansed and cradled by the light itself. The rhythmic flickering of the light near the ship is slowing down,
becoming softer, more diffused as your eyes grow heavy. The boundary between the light on the water and the closed warmth of your eyelids is blurring. The moon's silver path is no longer outside of you. It is the path your consciousness is taking into the deepest part of the night. You are sinking now, fully and completely, into the feeling of the cushioned deck beneath you. The ship's rocking is the final, perfect push towards sleep. Rock, hold, sink, settle. Imagine your body resting directly on that liquid silver path. You are not floating on the water, you are floating on the light. The path is stable, shining, and pulling you forward into the longest, most restorative sleep. All journeys of the day are complete. The destination is rest. The path is clear. The light is holding you. There is only the deep peace of the night and the steady guidance of the moon. You are safe. You are resting. You are sleeping. Good night.
Chapter 11. Drifting Through the Mist. The moon's silver path has successfully guided you into the deepest realm of sleep, and as you begin the next phase of your rest, the world has changed entirely. The stars are gone. The sharp light of the moon has vanished. The clear, deep black of the sky has been replaced by a soft, luminous gray. The ship has silently sailed into a dense, cool sea mist, a heavy, low-lying cloud that has descended to meet the water. You are settled back on your cushioned bench, but now the world around you is no longer defined by distance. It is defined by closeness. You can see only a few feet in any direction. The mist is a thick, white, enveloping medium, soft as cotton. It has wrapped the entire vessel in a quiet, protective blanket. Feel the shift in the air temperature. It is distinctly colder than the starlight night, but this cold is moist and gentle, clinging softly to your skin. When you inhale, the air feels slightly heavy, cool, and perfectly saturated with the clean, fresh scent of salt and iodine. It is a profound, full-body sensory experience. The most immediate change is in the soundscape. The mist has muffled all the sharp edges of the night, creating a sound world that is completely rounded and soft. The gentle whoosh of the bow cutting through the water is now reduced to a dull, rhythmic shumph, like a deep sigh heard from under a thick pillow. The sound does not travel. It is immediately absorbed by the liquid air. The high-pitched whistle of the rigging, which defined the whispers of the wind, is now entirely gone. The mist dampens the vibration of the ropes, leaving only the sound of the wind moving across flat surfaces, a continuous, low, non-directional hush. This is a world without echo. Every sound dies immediately, right where it is made, creating an atmosphere of ultimate acoustic closeness. It feels as though the ship itself is the only thing that exists, isolated from everything else in the universe. The only external sound that remains distinct is a new one, crucial: the foghorn. It is a low, mournful, distant sound that cuts through the mist. It is not an alarming noise, but rather a periodic, deep, resonant voom. a powerful, comforting vibration that confirms the ship is moving with vigilance and care. The sound is slow, occurring perhaps once every minute or two. Let the long, slow decay of that sound settle over you. Vroom, and fade. The silence that rushes back in after the horn sound has dissipated is the deepest, softest silence of the entire voyage. Close your eyes, then open them, allowing them to adjust to the luminous gray-white light. You are surrounded by a field of soft, diffused light. Even though the moon is blocked, the mist itself reflects the faint glow from the water and the lanterns, creating a beautiful, soft, internal radiance. The lanterns on the deck, which were once sharp pools of gold, are now blurred into soft, glowing orbs, like distant, hazy moons. They cast no shadows. The light simply flows out from them, merging into the surrounding fog. This is a world without clarity, and that is its gift. Your eyes have nothing to track, nothing to define, and no distance to measure. You are relieved of the duty of observation. The visual input is so minimal and so soft that your eyes begin to relax deeply, released from all strain. Imagine the mist as a soft, insulating layer of cloud. You are resting inside a cloud. The cloud is gently enveloping the ship, eliminating the feeling of vastness that dominated the earlier chapters. You are no longer floating on an infinite sea. You are enclosed in a defined, safe volume of soft, cool air. This feeling of enclosure is profoundly therapeutic. It tells the nervous system, the space is small, the world is close, everything is protected. The ship's movement in the mist is at its most subdued. The speed is slow, deliberate, and cautious. It is no longer a glide, but a drift, a gentle, almost imperceptible momentum. Feel the motion now. It is a soft, continuous side-to-side sway, amplified by the cushioned air. It is the purest form of rocking without the sharp lift of the wave crests. Sway left, so soft. Sway right, so slow. Let your own internal speed drop to match the speed of the drift. Slow your breathing until it is deep, quiet, and completely unforced. The only remaining tension in your body is now addressed by the mist. Imagine the cool, moist air flowing into your muscles and joints, lubricating and relaxing them from the inside out. Your arms feel heavy, weighted down by comfort. Your neck is slack, your head perfectly settled. The moisture on the deck makes the wooden planks damp and cool to the touch. This simple sensation, the coolness of the mist, is a final physical tether to the present moment, holding you gently to the reality of the ship's safety. The foghorn sounds once more, long and low, a reassuring distant vibration that fades into the all-consuming silence. Voom, and fade. This is your signal for final surrender. You are resting in a world built for quietude, a world where vigilance belongs to the horn and the watchman, but not to you. The mist is your cocoon. It separates you from every external demand and worry. The past is outside the fog. The future is outside the fog. You exist only in the small, soft, cool, drifting space of the present. Let the soft, luminous gray color of the mist settle behind your eyelids. It is the perfect, neutral color for rest, neither too bright nor too dark. Drift now. Let the muffled sounds hold you steady. Let the cool, moist air relax every single muscle. You are enclosed, safe, and completely isolated for rest.
Chapter 12. A Lullaby from the Deep. You have drifted through the soft, sensory-deprived cocoon of the mist, and now we take the final journey to the very core of the ship's being. This is where external sound gives way to internal vibration, and where the ocean's immense power is translated into a gentle, rhythmic hum. A true lullaby from the deep. Imagine leaving the outer deck and finding a comfortable, enclosed space deep within the hull. Perhaps you are settled in a small, unused storage area, or a carpenter's cubby, a place surrounded by thick, structural timbers. The air here is warmer than the mist, dry, and smells purely of the ship's enduring heart, old, hard wood, and a faint, sweet trace of pitch. Here the light is reduced to near darkness, perhaps only a tiny, shielded inspection lamp casting a single, fixed point of dim yellow light on the wooden wall. The visual world has almost entirely disappeared, allowing your sense of hearing and feeling to take over completely. In this quiet, deeply recessed spot, you no longer hear the separate whoosh of the waves. Instead, you feel and hear the sound of the entire hull resonating as one single, massive instrument. The constant pressure of the water against the wood produces a sound that is low, continuous, and powerfully resonant. Listen closely. It is a deep, foundational thrum. This is the sound of the world's energy being converted into structure. When the wood is pressurized by the sea, it vibrates, and that vibration travels through the dense timbers, through the deck, and into the spot where you are resting. Place your hand lightly on the wooden wall beside you. Feel the subtle, constant buzz, a low, rapid frequency that is completely non-alarming. This vibration is the ship's song. It is the sound of material strength in motion, the sound of the massive, unyielding keel keeping you balanced and true. This low, bass sound is often called the brown noise of the sea, a perfect, continuous background tone that effortlessly drowns out the
the sharper, higher frequencies associated with anxiety and thought. Allow this deep, resonant thrum to fill your entire auditory space. Let it settle in your chest, calming the rhythm of your heartbeat. Let it settle in your jaw, releasing all tension held there. Let it settle in your legs and feet, weighting them down with profound rest. The lullaby from the deep is accompanied by the ship's most fundamental motion, the slow, deliberate heaving of the massive structure. You are no longer experiencing the wave-by-wave roll. You are feeling the overall large-scale movement of the enormous floating object. This motion is not quick or playful. It is ancestral and profound. Imagine yourself back in the very earliest state of existence, being completely cradled and moved by an external source. The ship's motion is the purest, most comfortable form of rocking, recognized by the deepest, oldest part of your brain. Long, slow push, pause at the top, gentle, downward return. This is the rhythm of protection. It is the feeling of being held by something far stronger and larger than yourself. There is no resistance left in your body. Every muscle, every joint, every tendon has surrendered to this slow, inevitable, gentle sway. The movement is so complete, so all-encompassing, that you feel perfectly suspended, heavy, yet floating. In the profound silence between the deep thrum and the slow rocking, you become aware of a tiny, intermittent sound. Deep within the hull, where the air is cool and moist, a small drop of condensation, or perhaps a tiny, non-threatening leak, forms and falls. Drip, silence. Drip, silence. This sound is slow, perfectly isolated, and utterly meaningless. It is the anti-clock. It does not measure a rush, but the vast, quiet expanse of time. The drops are too infrequent to form a pattern that demands attention, but just present enough to confirm that the world is still and you are deep inside it. Let the slow, gentle drip become the soft punctuation mark at the end of your thoughts. Every thought you let go of is followed by the quiet finality of that sound. Drip, a moment of silence. Drip, a moment of peace. The deep thrum is the bed, the slow rocking is the blanket, and the intermittent drip is the final soft closure of the day. You are now entirely immersed in the lullaby from the deep. You are enveloped in the warmth of the wood, cradled by the slow, profound rocking, and saturated by the deep, resonant hum of the hull. This is the point where rest becomes a state of complete unity with the ship. You are part of its structure, moving effortlessly through the dark. You are safe because the structure is sound. You are resting because the journey is guaranteed. Allow your entire being to surrender to the simple, profound reality of this moment. You are heavy. You are warm. You are moving slowly, and you are protected by layers of wood, air, and ocean. Let the low, steady vibration carry you away from the edge of wakefulness. Sink down deeper than the bottom of the ship into the core of your deepest, most tranquil sleep. The lullaby from the deep has begun. You are at rest. You are sleeping. Good night.
Chapter 13. The horizon fades away. You have journeyed through the warm, resonant heart of the ship, deep in the ancestral rocking of the lullaby from the deep. Now, as your consciousness floats up from the structural core, you find yourself resting in a unique space, the forward deck, where the ship meets the infinite void ahead. The hour is timeless. It is the deep quiet where night and pre-dawn hover in balance. The mist of the previous hour has thinned, but it hasn't cleared completely. Instead, it lingers low, a thin, soft veil resting on the surface of the water. This residual mist, combined with the low light, creates a phenomenon of perfect spatial detachment. Lift your gaze and let your eyes drift outward over the bow of the ship. Where the sky should meet the sea, the horizon, there is nothing. The line is gone. The darkness above and the water below have merged into one vast, continuous field of deep, soft indigo. The water is the sky is the water. The distinction that organizes the waking world, the boundary between earth and air, has simply faded away. In this moment, without a horizon, the concept of direction loses its meaning. The ship is moving, yes, but it no longer feels like a movement toward a specific point. It is simply a state of peaceful, continuous flow. You are resting on the deck, feeling the familiar, gentle rise and fall of the waves. But because you cannot see the edge of the world, your mind is freed from the need to plot, to calculate, or to strive. You are floating in a boundless field of soft, merging color. This experience is a profound relief to the controlling mind. You have been released from the need for a destination. The only direction that matters is inward, deeper into your rest. Let your vision blur completely, allowing the indigo black to flow into the pale, muted gray of the water near the hull. You are enveloped in softness. There is no hard edge to bump against, no sharp line to define failure or success. There is only the fluid, peaceful flow of the universe. Focus on the profound quiet that results from this lack of boundary. Because the surface of the water is so calm and the air is so heavy, the sound of the ship is incredibly soft. The water against the hull is no longer a sound of cutting or dividing, but a sound of kissing, a long, soft, continuous whisper as the heavy wood is embraced by the fluid surface. Shh, shh, shh. The air that moves past you has no velocity. It is merely a cold, clean presence, the breath of the infinite. Feel the sensation of the vastness of the space around you. Without a horizon, the world stretches out infinitely in every direction. This infinity is not frightening. It is completely peaceful. It suggests that there is no end to the time you have for rest and no limit to the space for your relaxation. Imagine that every worry you ever held was an attempt to define a boundary, a line you could not cross. Now that the ultimate boundary, the horizon, has dissolved, those smaller, human boundaries also melt away. Let the line of stress in your brow dissolve. Let the sharp edge of a persistent thought blur. Let the tension in your hands fade into the boundless dark. You are being cradled by the infinite, carried by a flow that has no beginning and no end. As the physical horizon fades away, so too does the boundary of time. In this deep, quiet hour, the past and the future merge into one long, effortless moment of present rest. There is no before on the other side of the day, and no after waiting on the shore.
There is only the gentle, persistent movement of the ship in the vast, soft indigo. Let your awareness of time disappear. You are not measuring the seconds. You are simply existing in the flow. Allow your entire body to become as fluid and unbound as the sea itself. Your arms, your legs, your torso, they are all heavy, formless, and perfectly aligned with the smooth, slow motion of the water. The gentle pressure of the cushions beneath you is the only definition you need. Everything else is soft, vast, and quiet. Imagine the deepest, most tranquil parts of the water beneath the ship. They are cold, dark, and utterly still. You are sinking your consciousness down to that level, the quietest, most undisturbed part of the world. Let the boundary between your inner and outer self disappear. You are no longer separate from the movement. You are part of the flow. You are resting within the boundless, peaceful merge of sea and sky. The ship continues its perfect, silent drift. The horizon is gone. The destination is meaningless. The only purpose is peace. Embrace the beautiful surrender that comes with losing all your boundaries. You are heavy, warm, and entirely supported by the gentle, endless flow of the ocean. Sink deeper now into the soft, boundless indigo that has replaced the waking world. Let the gentle rocking be the final pulse that guides you past the final edge of consciousness. The horizon has faded away, leaving behind only the peace of the infinite. You are safe. You are resting. You are sleeping. Good night.
Chapter 14. Safe Harbor in Dreams. You have dissolved the physical boundaries of the horizon, and in doing so, your conscious self has achieved the final necessary state of surrender. The ship, which has been your steadfast companion and guide throughout the night, has performed its ultimate duty. It has brought you, without effort, to the safe harbor in dreams. Imagine that the ship has silently docked. There is no sound of chains or ropes, no jostling or interruption. The movement simply ceased, not with a stop, but with a gentle, smooth fade. The rocking has slowed to zero, leaving your body in a state of perfect, absolute stillness. You are no longer resting on a wooden deck or a cushioned bench. You're resting on a surface that is purely comfortable, a bed of pure quiet, a texture of soft velvet darkness. You are entirely weightless, suspended in a warm, internal space. This harbor is a place of the mind's own making, defined only by the feeling of absolute peace. The air here is the temperature of perfect balance, neither cool nor warm, but exactly right for profound, long rest. In this internal harbor, there is only one source of light, and it is entirely internal. Imagine a soft, pulsing light source deep within your chest, a quiet, constant lighthouse of calm. It is a gentle, steady, slow pulse of golden light. It casts no harsh shadows, it merely illuminates your internal landscape with a soft, persistent glow. This light is the source of your own energy, your own unwavering peace. It is the core self that remains steady and true regardless of the storms of the waking world. Feel this light pulsing slowly, rhythmically, in sync with the deepest, most tranquil beat of your heart. Pulse, pause, pulse, pause, This internal rhythm is the final perfect anchor for your sleep. Everything external has faded away. Only your own deep internal peace remains, radiating outward to fill the space of your dream harbor. Look outward from your internal resting place. The water in this dream harbor is unlike the vast, chaotic ocean. It is perfectly still. It is a heavy, dark liquid, so tranquil that it reflects the single, gentle, golden pulse of your inner light with absolute clarity. The surface of this water is like a sheet of polished obsidian, mirroring the deep sky above. There are no ripples, no waves, no disturbance whatsoever. This perfectly still water represents the state of your own mind, calm, deep, and absolutely reflective. Imagine dipping your hand into this water. It is silken, cool, and instantly soothing. It carries no scent of salt or brine, only the pure, clean essence of tranquility. Any lingering thought or tension you might have is gently touched by this water and dissolved instantly. You are surrounded by this quiet, powerful stillness. It guarantees that nothing can jostle you, nothing can rush you, and nothing can disturb your profound rest. You are entirely contained by peace. In this quiet harbor, the sounds of the voyage return, but only as soft, reassuring memories. They are not present demands, they are quiet confirmations of the safe journey you just completed. You can hear the phantom thrum of the hull, now only a faint, comforting echo, reminding you that you were held securely. You can sense the distant, low hum of the wind, reminding you that you were effortlessly carried forward. These sounds are now simply textures of peace, woven into the deep silence of the harbor. They confirm that the effort of the journey is over, and the time for final, deep repair has begun. Let the feeling of the heavy wood and the cool sea air be replaced by the sensation of weightlessness. In this dream harbor, gravity has no hold. Your limbs, your torso, your entire body are floating, unbound by pressure or weight. Imagine yourself drifting slightly upward, a few inches above the surface of the still water. You are perfectly supported, perfectly balanced, needing no effort whatsoever to maintain your place. This feeling of weightless suspension is the deepest physical rest you can achieve. The time for conscious instruction has ended. The journey is complete. You have reached the safe harbor in dreams. There is nothing left to do but allow the deep internal peace to take over. Focus on the pulse of your inner light, the slow, steady, constant beat of calm. Let this light grow slightly warmer, slightly softer, enveloping your consciousness in a cocoon of golden peace. Sink into the silence. Float in the stillness. Rest in the knowledge that you have found the perfect, safe destination for your deepest sleep. The anchor is set. The boat is still. You are home. Drifting now in the golden light, floating completely in the perfect stillness, sleeping deeply in your own safe harbor. Good night.
Chapter 15. Into the Velvet Night.
The safe harbor in dreams performed its essential duty. It brought your consciousness to a complete, necessary stop. The rocking has ceased. The water is still. The inner light of calm has become a soft, steady glow. Now we move past the harbor itself, past the final boundary of the mind's organizing principles, and drift into the profound, rich, and utterly luxurious space that lies beyond, the velvet night. Imagine gently pushing off from the still surface of the dream water. There is no effort involved, no strain. The movement is simply a slow, deliberate release. You are not floating up. You are sinking inward, away from the last vestiges of light. The golden light of your inner lighthouse, which was so essential for guidance, is slowly diminishing, not because it is fading, but because the space around you is becoming so dense and so soft that the light cannot penetrate it. This darkness is not cold or empty. It has a texture. It is the color of the deepest, richest indigo spun with the heaviest black, the color of pure, untouched velvet. Focus entirely on the feeling of being surrounded by this velvet darkness. It is heavy, warm, and infinitely soft. Imagine that the very air around you is composed of this deep silken fiber. As you sink into it, it wraps around every part of your body. It settles over your eyelids, making them feel heavy and secure. It wraps around your ears, muffling the last distant echoes of the world. It settles against your skin, providing a continuous, gentle pressure, like 1,000 soft blankets layered one upon the other. This velvet darkness is the ultimate protector. It absorbs all sound, all light, and all motion. Because the texture is so soft, there are no boundaries. You are not confined. You are enveloped. You are cradled within an ocean of perfect, warm quiet. Your body is sinking into this soft medium now. Feel the deep, delicious weightlessness that comes with this perfect support. Your arms and legs, heavy with rest, are suspended effortlessly. The tension that settled in your neck and shoulders throughout the day is gently pulled away by the dense, warm darkness. The silence of the velvet night is the deepest silence you have experienced yet. It is not the external silence of the open sea, which contained the sounds of the hull and the wind. This is an internal silence, where the last processes of analytical thought are absorbed by the rich dark. Any stray, lingering thought that tries to surface is instantly absorbed by the texture of the velvet. It is like whispering into the thickest, soundproof curtain. The thought dissipates immediately, leaving no trace, no echo, and no response necessary. Let your mind focus only on the sensation of continuous, slow, downward movement. You are sinking through layers of increasing quiet, increasing warmth, and increasing density. Sinking down slow, sinking deep, steady. This descent is completely safe. There is no bottom to hit, only an endless continuation of perfect comfort. This feeling of endless, safe sinking is the final release of all control. You have surrendered to the flow of rest. In this stage, the sense of your own physical form begins to dissolve in the comfort of the velvet. Imagine the boundaries of your skin becoming soft and porous. You are merging with the soft, dark space around you. You are no longer separate from the night. You are part of the deepest quiet it contains. Focus on your breathing. It is slow, deep, and utterly natural. The inhaled air is the rich,
clean density of the velvet. The exhaled breath is the final soft release of everything that needs to leave your system. Your heartbeat is calm and measured, a gentle, distant pulse that only serves to remind you of the peaceful life within. This is the state of total replenishment. You are being wrapped and held by the infinite protective darkness. The journey across the surface of the night is over. You have arrived at the core of rest. Let the sensation of the rich, deep color take over now, the pure, warm indigo and black. This color signifies the ultimate security, a place where no external sight can intrude and no sharp light can pierce the calm. You are cocooned in softness, silence, and warmth. This is the place where energy is repaired, where memory is organized, and where the body performs its most essential regenerative work. You are protected by the deepest night. Drift deeper now, past the last glimmer of the fading inner light. You are surrounded by the rich, comforting texture of the velvet. Sink into the knowledge that you are safe, profoundly supported, and resting in the deepest quiet. Into the velvet night, sinking, sleeping. Good night.